Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. Imagine waking up 1 year from today in the exact same position you are in right now. Same excuses, same habits, same fear, same unfinished goals, same regret sitting in your chest every single morning. Imagine watching everybody around you level up while you keep telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next month. And suddenly another year of your life disappears. Now listen to me carefully. That pain you feel deep inside, that frustration, that pressure in your mind telling you that you were meant for more, that feeling is real because there is a version of you that your current habits are killing, a stronger you, a disciplined you, a fearless you, a version of you capable of changing your entire bloodline. But most people will never meet that version of themselves because they are addicted to comfort. Comfort is dangerous. Comfort will make you waste years. Comfort will make you settle for average. Comfort will whisper lies into your mind like rest one more day, start later. You still have time. And while you're listening to those lies, life keeps moving. Every second you waste matters. Every distraction matters. Every excuse matters. Because while you are procrastinating, somebody else is working. While you are doubting yourself, somebody else is building confidence. While you are sleeping on your potential, somebody else is becoming unstoppable. The truth is brutal. Nobody's coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not love, not motivation. If your life is going to change, it will change because you decided to change it. And that decision starts with one thing: locking in, not halfway, not temporarily, not only when you feel motivated. I'm talking about becoming obsessed with your growth. The kind of focus where distractions lose their power. The kind of discipline where excuses stop existing. The kind of mindset that keeps going even when life gets painful. Because the reality is, average people quit when things get hard. But locked-in people, they adapt. They survive pressure. They grow through pain. You have to understand something most people never realize. Your future is being built by what you do repeatedly. Every lazy habit builds a weak future. Every disciplined habit builds a powerful one. And right now, whether you realize it or not, you are shaping the person you will become 5 years from now. So the question is not, do you want success? Everybody wants success. Everybody wants success. The real question is, are you finally ready to become the person success requires? Because this video is not for people looking for temporary motivation. This is for the people who are tired of being average, tired of procrastinating, tired of wasting potential, tired of watching life pass them by. This is for the people ready to transform mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Tonight, something needs to change. Not next Monday, not next month, right now. Because deep down, you already know. It's time to lock in. People think motivation is the key to success, but motivation is unreliable. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. One day you feel unstoppable, and the next day you feel tired, distracted, frustrated, and empty. If your entire future depends on whether you feel motivated, then your future is in danger. That is why discipline will always be more powerful than motivation. Discipline is the ability to keep moving even when your emotions tell you to stop. It is the ability to identify to wake up early when your body wants more sleep. It is the ability to stay focused when distractions are everywhere. It is the ability to continue the journey even when nobody is clapping for you, supporting you, or believing in you. Most people wait for the perfect move before they start. They wait to feel inspired. They wait for confidence. They wait for the right moment. But successful people understand something different. They understand that action creates momentum. They move first and the feelings come later. They do not sit around hoping motivation will magically appear. They build habits so strong that even on their worst days, they still execute. Think about it. If an athlete only trained when they felt motivated, they would never become great. If a business owner only worked when they felt excited, their business would collapse. If a student only studied when they were in the mood, they would fail. The people who win in life are not always the most talented. They are often the most disciplined. They understand that consistency beats emotion every single time. Discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. That sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest things a person can master. Your mind will constantly try to convince you to take the easier path. Your mind loves comfort. It loves convenience. It loves shortcuts. But growth does not happen inside comfort zones. Growth happens when you push yourself beyond what is easy. There will be mornings when you do not want to wake up. There will be days when you feel exhausted. There will be moments when progress feels invisible. Discipline is what carries you through those moments. Discipline is what separates dreamers from achievers. Everybody has dreams, but not everybody has the discipline to fight for them daily. The dangerous thing about relying on motivation is that motivation disappears when life gets difficult. When you fail, motivation disappears. When people doubt you, motivation disappears. When you get rejected, embarrassed, or overwhelmed, motivation disappears. But discipline remains. Discipline becomes your foundation. It becomes your system. And systems are stronger than emotions. A disciplined person understands that small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. One workout will not transform your body, but consistent workouts will. One day of studying will not change your future, but years of discipline and learning can completely change your life. One good decision may not seem important today, but repeated good decisions create a powerful future. Discipline also builds trust within yourself. Every time you say you are going to do something and actually do it, you strengthen your self-respect. You prove to yourself that your words matter. But every time you quit, procrastinate, or make excuses, you weaken your confidence. Many people struggle with self-belief not because they are incapable, but because they constantly break promises to themselves. Discipline repairs that relationship. When you become disciplined, you stop depending on external validation. You stop needing people to encourage you every day. You stop needing perfect conditions. You become self-driven. You understand that your responsibilities do not disappear just because you are tired. Bills still exist. Goals still matter. Dreams still require effort. There is also freedom in discipline. At first, discipline feels restrictive because it forces you to sacrifice distractions and comfort. But over time, discipline gives you control over you. Our life, a disciplined person controls their habits instead of being controlled by them. They control their time instead of wasting it. They control their emotions instead of allowing emotions to destroy their future. Look at people who lack discipline. They constantly chase temporary pleasure. They procrastinate. They avoid responsibility. They waste hours doing things that provide comfort but no growth. Then years pass and they wonder why their life never changed. Success is not usually destroyed in one dramatic moment. It is destroyed in small daily decisions. Sleeping in every day, avoiding hard work, making excuses, quitting too early. These small habits slowly build a weak future, but discipline works the same way in the opposite direction. Waking up early, staying committed, practicing daily, improving consistently. These habits slowly build strength, confidence, knowledge, and success. At first, the results may seem invisible, but eventually the growth becomes undeniable. Discipline also teaches you mental toughness. It trains you to function under pressure. Life will not always be easy. There will be pain, setbacks, failures, heartbreak, and uncertainty. A disciplined mind and does not collapse every time things go wrong. It adapts. It continues. It keeps moving forward. Many people think discipline is punishment, but discipline is actually self-respect. It is choosing your future over your temporary feelings. It is understanding that your goals matter more than your excuses. Every time you choose discipline, you are investing in the person you want to become. And the truth is, nobody can give you discipline. Nobody can hand you consistency. Nobody can force you to work on your dream every day. That choice belongs to you. Every single day, you decide whether you will move closer to your goals or farther away from them. There will always be distractions. There will always be distractions. There will always be reasons to quit. There will always be people who settle for less. But if you truly want a different life, then discipline must become part of your identity. Not something you do occasionally, but something you live by. The people you admire are not superhuman. They simply mastered the ability to keep going when others stop. They trained themselves to execute even without motivation. They understood that success is built during the boring days, the hard days, and the lonely days. Anybody can work hard when they feel inspired. The real test is whether you can work hard when you feel nothing at all. That is discipline. And discipline is what changes lives. Distractions are one of the biggest reasons people never reach their potential. Not because they are untalented, not because they are unlucky, but because their attention is constantly being pulled in 100 different directions. Every day, people lose hours to things that do not improve their lives. Endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, toxic environments, temporary entertainment, overthinking, comparison, and habits that slowly steal their focus. The dangerous part is that distractions rarely look harmful in the moment. They feel small. They feel harmless. But over time, they quietly destroy consistency, discipline, and momentum. Focus is one of the most valuable skills in the world today. Everybody wants success, but very few people protect their attention. Your attention is powerful because whatever you consistently focus on grows. If you focus on excuses, fear grows. If you focus on negativity, stress grows. But if you focus on your goals, your growth expands. That is why protecting your mind is so important. Most people treat focus casually. They wake up and immediately give their energy away. They open social media before they even think about their own purpose. They consume everybody else's opinions, everybody else's lifestyle, everybody else's drama before they spend even 1 minute building their own future. Day after day, they feed distractions more than they feed their dreams. Then they wonder why they feel stuck. Distractions are expensive. They cost time, energy, creativity, confidence, and opportunity. Every minute wasted on meaningless activities, a minute you cannot get back. Time is the one thing in life that cannot be replaced. Money can return. Opportunities can come again. But wasted time is gone forever. That is why focused people value their time differently. They understand that every hour matters. When you truly decide to lock in, you begin to see distractions differently. You stop seeing them as entertainment and start seeing them as obstacles between you and the life you want. You realize that not everything deserves your attention. Just because something is available does not mean it is valuable. Just because everybody else is doing, it does not mean you should. One of the biggest distractions is comfort. Comfort feels safe, but comfort can quietly keep you average. Staying in bed longer feels good in the moment. Avoiding hard work feels easier. Procrastinating gives temporary relief. But every time you choose comfort over growth, you train yourself to avoid difficulty. And if you constantly avoid difficulty, you will never discover your true potential. Another dangerous distraction is comparison. So many people spend their lives watching others instead of improving themselves. They compare their progress, their appearance, their money, their success, and their journey to somebody else's highlight reel. Comparison steals confidence. It creates insecurity and frustration. But focused people understand something important. Your only competition should be the person you were yesterday. Everybody's journey is different. When you spend too much time watching others, you lose sight of your own mission. Distractions also come in the form of people. Not everybody around you wants to grow. Some people are comfortable staying average, and they become uncomfortable when they see you trying to improve. They may laugh at your discipline. They may tempt you to waste time. They may not understand your vision. That is why protecting your environment matters. The people around you influence your mindset, habits, and energy more than you realize. If you surround yourself with lazy people, laziness becomes normal. If you surround yourself with negativity, negativity becomes normal. But when you surround yourself with focused, disciplined, ambitious people, growth becomes normal. Energy transfers between people. That is why you must be careful who gets access to your time and attention. Social media is another major distraction in modern life. Used correctly, it can educate and inspire. But for many people, it becomes an addiction. Hours disappear without purpose. People become consumers instead of creators. They watch others succeed while doing nothing with their own gifts. The problem is not technology itself. The problem is not technology itself. The problem is lack of control. When you cannot control your attention, somebody else will control it for you. Focused people understand the importance of boundaries. They know when to disconnect. They know when to say no. They know that every yes to distraction is often a no to progress. Saying no is powerful. No to wasting time. No to toxic habits. No to things that drain energy without adding value. Protecting your focus also means learning to sit with discomfort. Deep work requires patience. Growth requires repetition. Success often requires doing boring tasks consistently. But many people constantly search for stimulation because silence and discipline feel uncomfortable. They want instant results, instant entertainment, instant rewards. But real success is built slowly. It requires concentration over long periods of time. When you eliminate distractions, your life changes. Your mind becomes clearer. Your productivity increases. Your confidence grows because you begin keeping promises to yourself. You start noticing opportunities that distracted people miss. You move with purpose instead of chaos. Imagine the power of giving your full focus to one goal for an entire year. No constant quitting. No endless distractions. No wasting energy on nonsense. Most people never experience this level of focus, which is why most people stay stuck. Consistent attention creates extraordinary results. Discipline and focus work together. Discipline helps you stay committed, while focus helps direct your energy. Without focus, hard work becomes scattered. Without discipline, focus becomes temporary. Together, they create momentum. There will always be distractions fighting for your attention because attention is valuable. Companies compete for it. Entertainment competes for it. People compete for it. But nobody will care about your future more than you do. That means protecting your mind is your responsibility. The truth is, success often comes down to what you ignore. Focused people are not successful because they do everything. They are successful because they eliminate what does not matter. They simplify their priorities. They protect their routines. They understand that every distraction weakens momentum. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to isolate yourself from the world, but you do need awareness. You need to ask yourself whether your daily habits are helping your future or hurting it. You need to ask yourself if your actions align with your goals, because your future is being shaped by what you repeatedly give your attention to. At some point, you have to decide what matters more, temporary pleasure or long-term success. You can not constantly feed distractions and expect greatness at the same time. Greatness requires sacrifice. It requires focus. It requires intentional living. The people who achieve extraordinary things are usually not the people with the most talent. They are often the people with the greatest ability to focus without getting distracted by everything around them. They stay committed when others lose direction. They protect their energy. They remain locked in on the mission even when the world around them is noisy. And that is the difference between wishing for success and actually building it. Most people want success, but very few people truly embrace the grind. They want the rewards without the sacrifice. They want the results without the process. They admire greatness from a distance, but they do not understand the pain, repetition, pressure, and discipline that greatness demands behind the scenes. The grind is not glamorous. It is not always exciting. It is waking up when you are tired. It is continuing when progress feels slow. It is showing up day after day, even when nobody notices your effort. The grind is the part of success that most people avoid because it requires patience. In today's world, people are addicted to instant gratification. They want quick results, quick money, quick recognition, and quick success. But real growth takes time. Real transformation is built through consistency and repetition. A tree does not grow overnight. Muscles are not built in one workout. Knowledge is not gained in a single day. Everything valuable in life requires time and pressure. Pressure is uncomfortable, but pressure creates strength. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Strong people are built through challenges. The grind teaches you lessons that comfort never can. It teaches resilience. It teaches patience. It teaches discipline. When life becomes difficult, The grind trains you not to quit at the first sign of pain. There will be moments during the journey when you feel exhausted. There will be days when your hard work feels invisible. You may question yourself. You may wonder if all the effort is even worth it. That is where most people stop. They stop because they expected success to happen quickly. They stop because they thought motivation alone would carry them. But the people who win understand something important. Success is often built in seasons with, here nothing seems to be happening. The grind is about trusting the process even when the results are delayed. Every day you work on yourself, something is changing internally before it becomes visible externally. Your mindset is becoming stronger. Your discipline is improving. Your skills are sharpening. Your character is evolving. Even when you cannot see immediate results, growth is still happening beneath the surface. One of the hardest parts of the grind is staying committed without recognition. Many people work hard only when others are watching. They need validation. They need applause. But true growth happens in private. Happens in the early mornings, the late nights, the lonely hours, and the moments when nobody sees your sacrifice. The grind requires you to stay loyal to your goals even when there is no audience. That is why embracing the grind builds character. It teaches you how to become self-driven. You stop relying on external motivation and learn how to create internal discipline. You begin to understand that success is not about one huge moment. It is about small, consistent actions repeated over time. The grind also forces you to confront your weaknesses. When things become difficult, your excuses become visible, your bad habits become visible, your lack of discipline becomes visible. But instead of running from those weaknesses, the grind challenges you to improve them. Every difficult moment becomes an opportunity to grow stronger mentally and emotionally. A lot of people romanticize success but hate the process required to achieve it. They see the finished product but not the years of sacrifice behind it. They see the championship but not the endless training sessions. They see the successful business but not the sleepless nights, failures, and stress that built it. Every great achievement has a hidden story of struggle attached to it. The grind teaches humility because it reminds you that nothing meaningful comes easy. You realize that talent alone is never enough. There are talented people everywhere who wasted their potential because they lacked work ethic. Hard work often beats talent when talent refuses to work consistently. The grind creates separation because most people are unwilling to endure discomfort long enough to succeed. Another important part of the grind is learning how to keep going after failure. Failure is part RT of growth. Nobody succeeds without setbacks. Nobody wins every single time. But failure does not define you unless you quit. The grind teaches you how to recover, adapt, and continue moving forward. Every mistake becomes a lesson instead of a reason to stop. When you embrace the grind, you stop fearing hard work. You stop searching for shortcuts. You begin understanding that the difficult path often leads to the strongest version of yourself. Easy paths rarely create powerful people. Struggle develops strength. Adversity develops endurance. There is also something powerful about earning your success through effort. When you work hard for something, you appreciate it differently. Discipline builds confidence because you know your achievements were not luck. You know you earned them through consistency and sacrifice. That confidence becomes unshakable because it is built on experience, not empty words. The grind changes your mindset over time. You stop seeing obstacles as punishment and start seeing them as preparation. Every challenge becomes training. Every setback becomes fuel. You begin understanding that pain is temporary, but growth lasts. The discomfort you feel today may be shaping the strength you will need tomorrow. Embracing the grind also means accepting that balance will not always look perfect during seasons of growth. Sometimes you will need to sacrifice entertainment. Sometimes you will need to sacrifice comfort. Sometimes you will need to spend extra hours working while others are relaxing. People may not understand your focus, but not everybody is meant to understand your vision. The grind requires emotional control. There will be days when you feel frustrated or discouraged, but consistency matters more than emotion. Successful people are not always motivated. They simply train themselves to continue regardless of mood. They learn how to separate feelings from responsibilities. One of the most dangerous things a person can do is underestimate the power of daily effort. Small actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but repeated consistently, they create massive results. Reading a few pages every day builds knowledge. Training consistently builds strength. Saving money consistently builds wealth. Improvement compounds over time. The grind is not about destroying yourself or living without rest. It is about commitment. It is about refusing to settle for mediocrity. It is about understanding that growth requires effort, and effort requires consistency. Rest is important, but quitting is different from resting. Recovery prepares you to continue the journey, while quitting ends the journey completely. At the end of the day, the grind is not only shaping your future success, it is shaping who you become as a person. It builds resilience, patience, discipline, and mental toughness. Those qualities stay with you long after the rewards arrive. Anybody can chase goals when life is easy. The real test is whether you can continue when things become difficult. Can you keep showing up when progress is slow? Can you stay disciplined when nobody is encouraging you? Can you trust the process when the results are delayed? That is what embracing the grind truly means. It means understanding that success is not found in comfort. It is built through pressure, sacrifice, repetition, and relentless consistency. And the people who learn to embrace that process become unstoppable. Most people lose because they stop too early. Not because they are incapable, not because they lack talent, but because the moment life becomes difficult, they begin doubting the vision they once believed in. They start strong, full of excitement and energy, but when challenges appear, their commitment weakens. That is why staying obsessed with the vision matters so much. Your vision is the reason you continue when everything around you tells you to quit. It is the picture of the future that keeps you focused during the painful parts of the journey. A person without vision becomes easily distracted. They move through life reacting to circumstances instead of building intentionally. But when you have a clear vision, your actions gain direction. You stop wasting energy on things that do not align with your purpose. Your vision becomes a compass. It reminds you where you are going, even when the road feels uncertain. The problem is that many people want success, but they do not want it badly enough. They like the idea of greatness, but they are not obsessed with becoming great. Obsession is different from simple interest. Interested people work when it is convenient. Obsessed people work regardless of circumstances. Interested people stop when things get difficult. Obsessed people adapt and continue. When you are obsessed with the vision, excuses lose power over you. You stop letting temporary emotions control permanent goals. You begin understanding that discomfort is part of the process. Every successful person faced moments of doubt, pain, rejection, and failure. The difference is that they stayed committed to the vision even when reality did not yet match their dreams. Vision gives suffering meaning. Hard work becomes easier to endure when you know why you are doing it. Sacrifice feels different when it is connected to purpose. The long nights, early mornings, failures, and setbacks stop feeling meaningless because you understand they are building something greater. A strong vision also protects you from negativity. The world will always have doubters. Some people will not understand your goals. Some people may laugh at your ambition because your dreams make them uncomfortable. But when your vision is clear, outside opinions lose influence. You stop needing everybody's approval because you are too focused on where you are going. Many people fail because they allow temporary setbacks to destroy long-term dreams. They face rejection once and decide to quit. They fail one test and begin doubting themselves. They experience one difficult season and assume success is impossible. But every major goal requires endurance. The journey toward greatness is never smooth. There will always be obstacles, delays, and moments when progress feels invisible. That is why obsession matters. Obsession creates resilience. It creates persistence. When you are deeply connected to your vision, failure becomes feedback instead of defeat. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? Your mindset shifts from victimhood to growth. Being obsessed with the vision also means thinking long term. Most people are controlled by short-term feelings. They choose comfort today instead of building a better tomorrow. They quit because they want immediate results. But people who achieve extraordinary things understand delayed gratification. They are willing to suffer temporarily for something greater in the future. Think about athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders who reached high levels of success. Their lives were not built in a few easy months. Their success came from years of commitment to a vision that other people could not yet see. While others doubted them, they kept working. While others relaxed, they stayed focused. They remained loyal to the mission even during seasons where nothing seemed to be improving. Your vision must become stronger than your excuses, because excuses will always exist. There will always be reasons to procrastinate, reasons to quit, reasons to settle. But when the vision becomes powerful enough, excuses begin losing their influence. You stop negotiating with your goals because the future you want matters too much. Another important part of staying obsessed with the vision is learning how to adapt. Obsession does not mean blindly repeating the same mistakes forever. It means staying committed to the goal while being flexible with the strategy. Sometimes things will not go according to plan. Sometimes life forces you to adjust, but adjustment is not failure. Quitting is failure. Strong people know how to pivot without losing focus. They understand that obstacles are not signs to stop. Obstacles are not signs to stop. Obstacles are part of the path itself. Every challenge develops new skills, new wisdom, and new strength. Without struggle, growth would never happen. Your environment also affects your ability to stay focused on the vision. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, doubt begins to grow. But when you surround yourself with ambitious, disciplined people, your vision becomes reinforced. Energy matters. Conversations matter. The people around you can either fuel your purpose or drain it. That is why protecting your mindset is so important. You must feed your mind with things that strengthen your vision instead of weakening it. What you watch, listen to, and think about daily shapes your belief system. If you constantly consume negativity, fear will grow. But if you feed your mind with purpose, discipline, and growth, confidence begins to grow. And staying obsessed with the vision also requires sacrifice. There are moments when you will have to choose between comfort and progress. You may need to sacrifice entertainment, distractions, unhealthy relationships, or habits that no longer serve your future. Growth often requires letting go of things that feel familiar. People may not always understand your level of focus. They may call you extreme or overly ambitious. But average people often misunderstand obsession because they are comfortable settling. They do not realize that extraordinary results require extraordinary commitment. There will also be lonely moments during the journey. Sometimes you will feel like nobody understands your goals. Sometimes you will feel exhausted from carrying the weight of your dreams. But those lonely moments are often where the strongest growth happens. Isolation can sharpen focus if you use it correctly. One of the most important things about obsession is that it keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Motivation is temporary, but obsession creates consistency. When your vision becomes part of your identity, working toward it no longer feels optional. It becomes necessary. The truth is, life will test how badly you want your goals. There will be distractions. There will be failures. There will be moments when quitting seems easier than continuing. But the people who eventually succeed are usually the ones who refuse to let go of the vision. They stay committed during the hard seasons. They stay focused when others lost direction. They adapted when obstacles appeared. They kept believing even when results were delayed. And eventually the vision became reality. That is the power of staying obsessed with the vision. It gives you the strength to outlast pain, overcome doubt, and continue moving forward long after others have given up. Most people stay the same their entire lives because they are afraid of transformation. They want success, confidence, strength, peace, and greatness, but they do not want to let go of the habits, mindset, and lifestyle keeping them stuck. Real growth demands change. You cannot become a new person while repeating the same behaviors every single day. That is why becoming unrecognizable is so important. The goal is not just to improve slightly. The goal is to transform so deeply that the person you become no longer resembles the version of you that once settled for less. Transformation begins mentally before it becomes visible physically. Your life changes when your mindset changes. The way you think affects the way you act, and the way you act shapes your future. If your mind is filled with excuses, fear, laziness, and doubt, your actions will reflect that. But when your mindset becomes disciplined, focused, and determined, your entire life begins shifting in a different direction. Most people underestimate the power of identity. They try to change outcomes without changing who they are internally. They want better results without becoming better themselves. But success is not only about what you achieve, it is about who you become during the process. A stronger mindset creates stronger habits. Stronger habits create stronger results. Becoming unrecognizable means refusing to stay trapped in old patterns. It means breaking cycles that have controlled your life for years. Maybe it is procrastination. Maybe it is self-doubt. Maybe it is laziness, negativity, fear, or unhealthy habits. Whatever it is, transformation begins the moment you stop accepting those things as permanent parts of your identity. Too many people define themselves by their past mistakes. They believe because they failed before, they will always fail. They believe because they struggled before, they will always struggle. But your past does not have to control your future. Every day is an opportunity to rebuild yourself into someone stronger. Growth requires discomfort because every transformation demands sacrifice. You cannot become disciplined while staying addicted to comfort. You cannot become focused while constantly feeding distractions. You cannot become successful while refusing to outgrow habits that destroy your progress. Becoming unrecognizable means making decisions that your old self would never make. It means waking up early instead of wasting mornings. It means staying disciplined when your old self would quit. It means controlling your emotions instead of letting emotions control you. It means choosing growth over excuses repeatedly until discipline becomes part of your identity. Transformation also requires patience. Most people quit because they expect instant results. They want immediate proof that their hard work is paying off. But real change happens slowly. It happens through daily consistency. One workout may not change your body, but years of discipline will. One productive day may not change your future, but repeated productive days will completely transform your life. The difficult part is that during the early stages of growth, the results are often invisible. You work hard, but still feel far from your goals. You stay disciplined, but still feel unfinished. That is where faith in the process becomes important. Transformation is happening even when you cannot immediately see it. Every disciplined action is building a stronger version of you internally. Every challenge is developing mental toughness. Every sacrifice is creating greater self-control. Over time, those small daily actions compound into massive change. Becoming unrecognizable also means elevating your standards. You stop tolerating things that drain your energy. You stop accepting mediocrity from yourself. You stop settling for average habits, average effort, and average thinking. Your standards shape your lifestyle. When your standards rise, your actions rise with them. Your environment plays a huge role in transformation as well. The people around you influence your mindset, habits, and ambition. If you surround yourself with negativity, distraction, and laziness, growth becomes difficult. But when you surround yourself with driven, disciplined, and focused people, transformation accelerates. Energy spreads, mindset spread, habits spread. Sometimes becoming unrecognizable requires distancing yourself from environments that no longer support your growth. Not everybody will understand your transformation. Some people may become uncomfortable when they see you changing because your growth reminds them of their own lack of progress. But growth often requires separation. You cannot stay attached to things that are holding you back while expecting your life to move forward. Transformation is not only physical or financial, it is emotional and spiritual too. Becoming unrecognizable means developing emotional control. It means learning how to remain calm under pressure. It means no longer allowing anger, insecurity, fear, or temporary emotions to dominate your decisions. Emotionally strong people are not people who never feel pain. They are people who refuse to let pain destroy their purpose. They continue moving forward despite fear, despite doubt, despite setbacks. They understand that difficult emotions are temporary, but quitting can create permanent regret. There is also power in silence during transformation. You do not need to announce every goal or every move. Sometimes the strongest growth happens privately. While the world sees nothing changing, you are rebuilding yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially behind the scenes. The process of becoming unrecognizable is lonely at times because growth separates you from old versions of yourself and sometimes even old relationships. But loneliness during growth is often temporary. You are creating space for a stronger future. One of the most powerful things about transformation is confidence. Real confidence is not built through words. It is built through evidence. Every time you stay disciplined, every time you overcome challenges, every time you keep promises to yourself, your confidence grows stronger. You begin trusting yourself because you have proof that you can endure difficulty. The person you become through discipline is different from the person you were before. Your mindset sharpens, your focus improves, your energy changes, your habits become stronger. Even the way you carry yourself changes because transformation affects every part of your life. People may eventually look at you and say you changed, and they will be right. You changed because you stopped settling. You changed because you stopped settling. You changed because you became disciplined. You changed because you refused to stay trapped in old patterns. You changed because growth became more important than comfort. That transformation is the reward for consistency. The truth is, your future depends on the person you are becoming right now. Every habit, every decision, every yes. Aquafis is shaping your identity. If you continue feeding distractions, excuses, and laziness, your future will reflect that. But if you feed discipline, focus, resilience, and growth, your future will eventually become powerful. You do not need to become perfect overnight. Transformation is a process. The goal is simply to continue evolving, continue improving, continue becoming stronger than you were yesterday. Years from now, you should be able to look back at your old self and barely recognize that version of you. Not because you became fake, not because you forgot where you came from, but because you refused to stay limited by who you used to be. That is what it means to become unrecognizable. Before you click away, before you move on with your day, I need you to hear this clearly. Your life is not going to change because you watched one motivational video. Your life changes the moment you decide that enough is enough. The moment you stop making excuses. The moment you stop waiting for the perfect time. The moment you stop doubting yourself and finally commit to becoming the person you were meant to be. Right now, there are two versions of you fighting each other. One version wants comfort. One version wants greatness. One version says maybe tomorrow. The other version says start now. One version keeps wasting time. The other version understands that every second matters. And the version that wins is the version you feed every single day. You have more potential inside you than you realize. But potential means nothing without action. Dreams mean nothing without discipline. Goals mean nothing if you quit every time life gets hard. This world does not reward excuses. It rewards consistency. It rewards focus. It rewards people who keep going when everybody else gives up. So ask yourself honestly, how much longer are you going to stay stuck? How much longer are you going to doubt yourself? How much longer are you going to watch other people live the life you want while you keep procrastinating on your own future? There comes a moment where talking is no longer enough, wishing is no longer enough, planning is no longer enough. You have to move. Even if you're tired, move. Even if you're scared, move. Even if nobody believes in you, move. Because every day you delay your growth is another day your dreams stay out of reach. And listen, athlete, the pain of hard work is temporary, but the pain of regret will follow you for years. One day you will either thank yourself for staying disciplined or hate yourself for wasting time you can never get back. That choice is being made right now. Not next year, not next month, right now. This is your wake-up call. This is your sign to lock in mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Cut the distractions. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay obsessed with your vision. And most importantly, become so dedicated to your growth that 1 year from now, people cannot even recognize the person you become. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them misunderstand your grind. Because while they're watching, you're building. And when success finally arrives, they will only see the results. They will never fully understand the sacrifices, the pain, the lonely nights, and the battles you fought to become stronger. But you will know. You will know you earned it. So after this video ends, don't just feel inspired for a few minutes and go back to old habits. Take action. Start today. Start small if you have to, but start because your future is waiting on the other side of discipline. Now lock in and become unstoppable.